monetary limits on how much can be spent for advertising, I think that they make. I think that's a very good argument that they can make that that should extend to all kinds of advertising, not just broadcast. So that's one thing. But then Waxman's guy, when he asked a question about showing sides of an issue, that's a different topic than financial contributions to advertising spending.
Exactly. That's what I meant.
Content and picking sides of an issue, that's a very different topic. That is a much for me. That's a much bigger red flag.
It's a way bigger red flag. Money versus opinion. That's why I said it. That separate that. That's kind of scary stuff when you think about it.
That is very scary stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and put that down as not surprising stuff.
Well, it's not surprising at all. And they've tried this. I mean, like I said, fairness doctrine and on and on. And
Well, it obviously brings up the topic that you brought up of the Vox interview, where the president is decrying the lack of a single source of information for everybody.
yeah, and a common worldview. He
Yep.
doesn't. He doesn't only want. He doesn't only want a common source of news. He wants a common worldview.
I wonder which common worldview. Obviously, that's a rhetorical question that doesn't deserve an answer.
Right.
But I'm guessing that he's not going to want a common worldview informed by Tom Sowell, for example.
No,
It'd be
I'm
more
guessing the
Paul
common
Krugman.
worldview would be informed by him,
Yeah, oddly enough.
by dear leader.
Exactly.
Man, what strange times we live in.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. Now, one thing it's at the very end of the article is the political, and I was not aware of this. The political affiliation of the FEC chairman works on a rotating basis with the two
Right.
major political parties trading off each year.
And it's 3-3, right?
In terms of the board,
Yeah, three Republicans, three Democrats.
I don't. You know what? I actually don't know. And then they just pick a chairman from one party and then the other, and they trade it back and forth.
Exactly.
Okay. I don't. Frankly, I do not understand. As long my opinion on this kind of stuff, man, is as long as there's disclosures, I don't think there should be any limits at all.
Zero.
Zero. I mean, I did a story about the political spending last year, the billions and billions and billions of dollars that were spent on political ads. Put it in the context of the amount of billions of dollars spent encouraging people to buy Coke or Bud Light
Right.
or pizza. It's a relatively small amount. And
Huh.
if it becomes discovered that the political campaign for Scott Walker is entirely funded by Charles Koch, and the political campaign for Hillary Clinton is entirely funded by George Soros, then as long as that's disclosed, George Soros does multi-hundred-million-dollar ad buy on every internet site on the planet Earth on behalf of Liawatha,
Then so be it.
then so be it. We don't say, well, ho, 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 ho. How much more money did T-Mobile spend than AT&T on mobile phone advertising last year?
See?
Well, that would be the decision of T-Mobile and AT&T, not anybody else's business.
And if Verizon wanted to outspend AT&T, then have at it.
Then have at it.
Right.
Yeah,
You
that's
and I could
exactly.
simplify everything. You know that? If they
It's funny. I just, obviously we're constantly trying to figure out a way to monetize things, and we've already done so. We've made the offer for the political candidates that we would just, give them a go, no go, quick decision, and on a consulting basis. We would do the same thing for all the issues, Mike.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They
Right.
just need to come to us. We'll tell them what not to do, what to do, and then we can simplify everything from campaign contributions to fairness doctrine type stuff to the Constitution. I think you and I could refashion this country from top to bottom very
Yeah.
simply.
Well, and it's not. We would go further than just render our opinion. We would also support it based upon facts and history and provide a justification for it.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't be just us saying, yeah, unlimited spending in political campaigns. We would give the reason why.
And of course, then we would build a track record, starting again with the initial proposal to have these candidates come before us and tell them whether they should run because they might have a chance, or dude, you don't have a snowball's chance in hell, go home and save everybody a lot of time and money. So then our portfolio, if you will, would build because we could look back and present to people when we were right.
Oh, that's absolutely perfect, man.
See?
Speaking of campaigns, uh, this is kind of shocking. David Axelrod is asserting that our president deceived America on yet another thing with his campaign back in 2008. What do you think of this story?
Did it not take your breath away? Were you not shocked?
Well, here's the thing, dude. I'm only about a third of the way through Axelrod's book for the third time. I read it the day it came out.
Right. I
And
mean,
then I read it again.
and you told me offline because you were embarrassed. You didn't want to say it on the show that you actually did go to a book signing and have an autographed copy. But yeah, listen, setting aside the issue, okay, because I don't want people to take this the wrong way because it's about gay marriage, right? And people know that, Obama famously said that his position evolved over time. This has nothing to do, in my mind, with gay marriage, all right? Excuse me. Hausam and I, on the record multiple times for our opinions on that kind of stuff. This is about Obama as a person. So Axelrod's new book, Believer, My 40 Years in Politics, I mean, it just gets down to the bottom line is Obama is a Senate candidate, 1996, state Senate candidate, by the way. Questionnaire, he said, I favor legalizing same-sex marriage and would fight efforts to prohibit such marriages. Okay, 12 years later, right? Which brings us to him running for president. I believe that marriage is a union between a man and a woman. That's what he said. So then in 2012, he goes Brian Williams and says his position has evolved and he now thinks that gays should be allowed to marry. And again, set aside the whole gay thing. Shocked? No, I mean, this is who this guy is.
Well, it's funny. Have you seen Obama has now responded to that?
He has.
Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Yeah, this is an article, an AP article, and I'm pulling it off of Yahoo News. Here's what it says. President Barack Obama is disputing longtime aides' view that Obama feigned opposition to gay marriage, compromising his true beliefs out of concern it could hurt him with voters. And here's what he said. He told BuzzFeed in an interview posted Tuesday night, so this is last night,
Right.
that Axelrod is mixing up my personal feelings with my position on the issue. What does he say here? I think the notion somehow I was always in favor of gay marriage, of marriage per se, isn't quite accurate. I always felt that same couples should be able to enjoy the same rights legally as anybody else, and so it was frustrating to me
I believe
not
that
to.
second part as well, by the way.
Yeah, and so it was frustrating to me not to, I think, be able to square that with a whole bunch of religious sensitivities out there. Civil unions were a sufficient way of squaring the circle, but the pain and sense of stigma that was being placed on same-sex couples who are friends of mine changed his mind. Well, that sounds to me like he did compromise his true beliefs out of concern it could hurt him with voters.
Well, it's complete bullcrap because it doesn't refute anything that Axelrod says. This is a quote, I favor legalizing same-sex marriages. This is from the questionnaire in 1996 in Illinois. I favor legalizing same-sex marriages and would fight efforts to prohibit such marriages. Now, listen, that's, different to an extent, obviously, from civil unions, which I believe should happen as well. I've talked about that before as it related to my financial planning practice. Axelrod knew, other than Valerie Jarrett and Mooch, Axelrod knows this guy, knew this guy, was more trusted than anyone else in his life. So I would believe Axelrod here, Michael. I'll go out on a limb and say that.
Yeah. I think you're exactly right. I mean, here's the deal: is that of course it was a political thing for him.
Exactly.
Now that being said, I can't criticize a guy for having his political views on something change, because mine have.
Well, as have mine, and I agree with you. But it's the timeline thing here that bothers me a bit. And again, I don't care if it's about gay marriage or widgets. It's as far back as 96, he filled out that questionnaire. But in '08, he said, for political expedience, I believe marriage is between a man and a woman. He obviously lied when he said that.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's the issue.
Right.
Not what it's about.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's different than my position has changed.
Exactly. Exactly.
My position has changed on pot legalization. My position has changed on all kinds of things.
As have mine. No one is to be faulted for that.
Mhm.
Now, and I mean, let's be honest. I mean, politicians' positions change relative to running for office. We get that as well. Obama introduced the word evolve, but that's happened forever. But when you juxtapose, again, the dates here, the flip-flopping, of course, Kerry, I voted for the war before I voted against it, but this is just Obama, man.
Yeah, it's flip-flopping for political expediency and morphing on a particular issue is very different than I mean, I would put this into the flip-flopping for political expediency category, not morphing on a particular issue.
Exactly. And to come out in 2012 and say my position has evolved, which would suggest that it evolved from 2008 when he said, I believe a marriage is between a man and a woman, was a complete crock of bullcrap.
Yeah. Bingo.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So I don't know. So we got soup at 3:30 Eastern?
Yeah, soup's up in 32 minutes.
Kind of happy to have him come on. Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Don't do the whole thing in Spanish.
¿Por qué? Todos, pues, muchas personas hablan en español, señor, en los Estados Unidos. ¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Entiendes, Jess?
I do. I love this.
Okay, Jessica. Wait, Jessica, bust out some Spanish to house him.
Bust out some Spanish. Sí, entiendo. Gracias por hablar español.
De nada, señora. Muchas gracias. Señorita, lo siento.
Lo siento.
Okay, I have no idea what the hell that meant. But house him, I got to kind of almost hand it to you. I mean, Jessica has it down a bit better, but you got right in there.
Yo trabajo en Norte California. Es muy importante que hablo español.
Sí, yo entiendo eso. Sí, tiene la razón.
Sí.
Okay, so how and when and where did you learn Spanish, Hausen?
2 años en
Okay,
escuela.
no. You're talking to a white guy in the Midwest.
2
No, 2
años
years.
en escuela.
I got nothing.
In school.
2 years in school.
Dude, I just took Spanish 1 and 2.
I took 3 years of German, dude, but I just, no, I don't know. Okay, we got 30 seconds.
Yeah, I took 2 years in Spanish. I took 2 years in high school, but
Do you speak it like you go into a restaurant, anywhere where someone speaks Spanish, you probably respond. They love that. We're out of here. We'll be right back.
This is your Vigilant Liberty radio news from Independent Journal Review for Wednesday, February 11th. President Obama is submitting